Good morning. This is Tammy. I am with Mandy from Seek Heavenly Things. I am part of the 12, and I am going to read part 1. It was a repost from Jesus on 11/13/2025 on Mandy's page, on her community post on YouTube. That's God's Physical 2:8 and God's Spiritual Calendar 7:8. So this prophecy was given to Mandy on 6/9 of 2025. Part 1, God's physical calendar is 5/1 and God's spiritual calendar is 9/1. From Jesus just now answering a comment, he told me to stir the pot and wake up his children. It's time to spoil the enemy's plans. Side note, I've learned throughout this process that Yeshua, is not as rigid as the world makes him out to be. So just consider that. And once again, just please listen to what he's trying to say. And it's all about teaching us, and it's all about love. So how can this be false? And also, how can Mandy be a cult leader? Cult leaders don't talk about loving Jesus. Okay, back to part 1. 6/9/2025. It's time to break the bonds and the chains of the false father who is tricking God's people. It goes back to the title and labeling yourself as a Christian. You are going to see a mystery here soon, how it was set up in the bylaws for the devil to mock the Holy Spirit. When you label yourself as a Christian, you're opening the door to the false father, because Christianity, the label of it, by identifying yourself, taking the name as a Christian, is putting yourself in a religious state based on where this label comes from. God is not religious. He is spiritual, and this is written in the bylaws from the very beginning as a mockery name of allowing the devil to put his people under that form of religion based on religious beliefs, not spiritual, and it's bringing in the religious spirit through the cultic movement, which in terms is the false father mimicking the Holy Spirit, leading God's people into condemnation and wrath, keeping them in guilt and condemnation, making them trapped under the curse by the laws which were mocked from the original 10 guidelines. And you can read them in the remembrance books of the ancient grandmothers. This is the biggest movement from the devil, and this is why the religious spirit is rampant in the churches. God is about to break the chains off his people who mock the original followers of Jesus. God said, do your research and see where it comes from. The name, the Christian label. Christianity explanation. Christian movement came from a cultic environment of mocking the real Jesus followers, showing everyone the true way. So they gave them that name to mock them. And that name became the way for Christians to associate with one another, putting them under the false father's curse of laws while stamping the religious movement into position, keeping people under the bondage of slavery. Everyone has fell for this, including me. I just found out yesterday, but makes more sense if you think about it. Jesus isn't religious. God's 10 commandments were wrapped in a curse. Why? Why would God put a curse on his people? Why would he sacrifice animals when he loves all his creations? Think about that. 6/8/2025. Your father has allowed all of these mistranslations, just like he's allowed his original guidelines to be put up as the 10 commandments to be God's laws. Because I am the creator of heaven and earth, they are my laws, because I've allowed these laws to be wrapped around a curse. But these laws are not my true intention for you, and this is why I had my son die in the flesh for you all, to break the curse of the law. And now you're going to recognize my true character. 6/8/2025. Yes, my word is true, even the one that has been corrupted by man, because every single thing has been my design, even the laws that were corrupted, that were my original guidelines that turned into the 10 commandments. Those are still my laws because I am in control of everything. You see, the devil cannot do anything without my permission, and it was all set up from the very beginning. So I left my people breadcrumbs to find me, because I knew that my true character was going to be demolished and slandered. Malachi 3:16 is one of my breadcrumbs. So don't forget the remembrance of the ancient great-grandmother. Then spake that they feared the Lord, every one to his neighbor, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord and thought upon his name. Malachi 3:16. That's in the Geneva Bible. 10 guidelines, chapter 3, the remembrance of our ancient grandmothers. Love and anokacede. I completely messed that up. With all your heart, all and all your mind, and with all your power. Power comes from all your holy relationships, which is your spirit of life. Unconditional love, never varying away from its gracious nature. 2, you are always to walk in the holiness of the sanctity of marriage and to anticipate it from your childhood. Anticipate means for you to be pure in heart and chaste from your childhood, and waiting for your rightful spouse and saving yourself solely for them and from all others. You are to follow no other example in religion but the loving kindness of the anokacede and that which was established by the righteous with him during the first great sevening. Each person is to love their fellow and deem them equal to themselves. You are to respect and love your children and protect them from evil and diligently teach them the ways of holiness. So number 6, you are to purify yourselves by sevens in all things. 7, you are about to respect the Creator, Matzah the Lamb, who himself the living water that issues forth to follow each person that finds breath and not lay claim to that which he has made for other persons. Number 8, you are to respect all life and guard with diligence all the lives of those who are the objects of creation, and of course all human beings, whether they be friend or foe, holy or evil, powerful or weak, or in fact all the objects of creation, simply by creating as a children of Anokacede. I'll work on that. Number 9, you are to seek no other authority than the authority of Elda, which brings a response from the Irkosoi, who are the holy watchers of heaven. Number 10, you are to bear up under the burden of oppression without violence. Stick around for part 2. Thanks for listening.